Well, in the past news cycle, we've learned that you can do less on your gaming console and more gaming on your Android phone. Also, Motorola is making smartwatches again, sort of. This is the Android Police Podcast.
It is Thursday. It's not Thursday. It's Wednesday, October 30th. Welcome. It's not Halloween. And I am not Corbin Davenport. That is Corbin Davenport. I'm Jules Huang. I think we should get right to it because otherwise this show will melt down from the start. So we've been making changes to the rundown in the past few minutes up to airtime here. And we've been talking about what stories to keep. I think we should just give a passing mention to Sony with the discontinuation of the PlayStation View service. 4 years, 75 channels or so, and it was supposed to be kind of the gateway drug, I guess, for those who are more console, live on their console. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it was sort of Sony's way of making the PlayStation more of a media center. And shocker, most people don't want that from their gaming console. They just want to play games.
Yeah, pretty much. Although my one of my friends, longtime friends who lives downstairs, does actually go on Amazon Prime every so often on his PS4. So hey, I mean,
Yeah, there's people who use it for both, but
maybe it's
I
just
mean,
like OTT as opposed to like some of the live channel, because they really pushed live channels as opposed to like, well, you already have apps for all the other streaming services. So, and that's where most of the great original content is these days. So, wow, I guess. All right, let's talk about something that will give a smile to us if we own an Xbox, that is, because I feel like we already had some smiles going on with the PlayStation 4 Play remotes, or Remote Play, excuse me. Just got an upgrade to go out to more than just the Sony Android phones. We got a few more models going in, but if you have an Xbox, well, about time. Xbox Console Streaming Service is the name of the game here. It's for Android devices. You stream on a local area network with your console in the same general area as your phone. And right now, it's a very limited, very high prerequisite bar going on here. So you have to have an Xbox One. This is only for Xbox One games, by the way. You can use your Xbox Game Pass titles, though, so that's a good thing. You have to live in the US or the UK and be an Xbox insider in either the Alpha or Alpha skip ahead ring. And then the rest is pretty just easy money, I guess. Android Marshmallow device with Bluetooth 4. I mean, who knows of an Android Marshmallow device that runs Bluetooth 3 or something? No, that doesn't happen here. You also need a Bluetooth Xbox One wireless controller and the app to make everything happen on your Android device. So that's it. About time.
that's all you need.
That's all you
Just
need.
those 10 things.
Who thinks it's a good idea here to do this sort of local streaming on a different, like, I don't find myself kind of wishing that I wasn't in front of my 17.3-inch gamer laptop, or in another, like, I can just move the laptop.
Yeah, I mean, I know this has been a popular. Well, I don't know how popular, but I know people have wanted this for a long time because Steam in-home streaming has been a thing for a few years now, at least. And there was that like $20 box you could get that streamed your PC games from another area in your house to your TV. But that was from like PC to the TV, and then now there's the app that sort of does the same thing where you can stream it to your phone. I've never really had a use for any of those, but if people want to do that, that's cool, and it's nice that this kind of turns the Xbox console into something a little bit more versatile, which is nice. You get, in addition to being able to play games on your TV, you can also take it to your phone if maybe someone else is using the TV or something, or if you just really want to play Xbox from bed, that's fine too.
Yeah, I mean, you could find some janky ways to set that up for cheaper, which I feel like would be the predominant driving force there. But maybe that's just me. And I do want to acknowledge Zorchiar, if that's how I'm supposed to say that. He has or they have a question, which we will address later on in our dedicated Q&A section. In the meantime, I feel like Extreme, which is the cloud gaming competitor that's supposed to go up against Google Stadia, like that kind of thing is more my speed, because if I I want to be able to play anything from a screen, like anywhere I go. There are screens everywhere. I don't want to have to, just be limited to the
Yeah,
screen I'm carrying, 6 inches, 12 inches, or whatever size like I carry. But no, like if you're providing me this beautiful canvas while I'm staying at your hotel, please let me use it to play to enjoy my entertainment.
yeah, it's less of a headache with Stadia, obviously, because you can do it from outside your home network is probably the main pull, but also like you don't need to constantly check that your Xbox is on or do anything like that. But like I assume this is like a free feature, or it will be once it rolls out to everyone, the local streaming bit, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
if it's free, like that's, I mean, you can't really complain there, since
Everyone
you
in
are
the
running infrastructure.
Yeah, everyone in the work Slack is like going all crazy because we're about to change over from our update tags from brackets to parentheses. So a little inside baseball for you, but hey, which one do you prefer? Comment in our poll on Twitch.
Give us a Twitch sub if you prefer one, or a Twitch sub if you prefer the other one.
Yeah, we got the emotes for the bits. Like if you prefer this one, choose the one with the lamb with like the cute lamb thing. I think I've seen, or is it like a unicorn or something? And then show if you prefer the parentheses. Just give us your your Rhines, all
Yeah,
your Rhines. I
one
want to know.
Rhine for regular update, two Rhines for the other one.
Yeah, yeah. So I believe we are headed over to a story about something that you're personally excited about because it's something that you can afford.
Ooh, yikes! Yeah, so there's
I
a
mean, I'm in the
new.
same boat, I'll be honest.
Yeah, well, I did just buy like a $300 Samsung tablet, so I don't particularly need this, but it's still neat. So the updated Amazon Fire HD10 tablet that was announced a few months ago is finally available. And most of Amazon's tablets have a reputation for being not good. I got an HD8 a few months ago, and it's fine. But this new one it actually seems like a solid budget tablet. Like if you just want something for media and games, this looks like it'll be more than capable of that. So this this is the Fire HD10. So it's like their highest end model. And it goes for $150, which that's not too much, I think, for a tablet in general, even though the base Fire tablets go for like $40. But this one has a new processor in it. It has a 1080p screen, 32 gigs of storage minimum, 2 gigs of RAM. The main thing that's interesting this time around is that it's the first Fire tablet with a USB Type-C port. So that's been one of the things that's been really annoying, is that seemingly on all budget Android devices, whether it's a phone or a tablet, they're all sticking with micro USB. Like
Mm.
even like Motorola and Nokia's budget phones, most of them still have micro USB for various reasons, but this one has Type C, so it's more appealing to those of us that have several things with that connector, because then you could just have the one cord for all of them, the one cord to rule them all. And
Woo!
also, this has Android 9. I need to mute Slack because there's like a billion alerts going on right
I
now.
know, right? That's like the biggest the biggest change since, I don't know, sliced bread.
I know. How do I unsubscribe from Cat Facts? Okay, there we go. All right, I just quit Slack. Okay, we're
Yeah,
fine
we're
now.
gonna update our podcast posts, so be sure to watch out for the parentheses coming up.
Yeah, please vote on that hot topic debate. Uh, But yeah, so USB Type C. That's nice to have. Also, this has Android 9 Pie. So the other, again, you might be
So
thinking,
the last year's
you might be thinking, wow, Corbin, that you mean the software from a year ago? Yes, but hold on. Amazon's tablets have historically lagged very far behind Android releases. So until last year, all of them ran Android 5.1. And then last year, they started coming out with the first ones that have Nougat. So this is a big step up for Amazon. Yeah,
See,
so now
but does that change the fact that Fire OS is just unpleasant, as most people have
it's
said?
I don't think it's unpleasant. The only unpleasant part is that it has the home screen that kind of just feeds you Amazon content if you're not into that. Like the OS itself, like it's not hugely modified from stock Android. It's just there's a little bit of a skin on it and it doesn't have play services out of the box. But those are really the only two things I had to complain about it.
So you're saying
Especially
that this is
now
like day old pudding. It's still all right. It's got a little skin on it, but
it's fun. You know, I'd rather have this probably than some other skins. But yeah, now that it's based on Pi, it's got all the goodness, like picture in picture mode. That's kind of nice for media stuff. It's not as big of a leap as Nougat because Nougat brought the whole adaptable storage thing, which is very important for Fire tablets because they all
yeah.
come with not enough storage. But yeah, so this is $150. You can get it from Amazon. There's also a kid version that's $200 that has like the ugliest case I've ever seen in my life attached to it out of the box, and it
Yeah.
comes with some kid content. So
Well, that ugly case is supposed to be beaten up and
yeah,
just totally trashed for
for your
kids.
for your extremely irresponsible children, give them
Mhm.
the $200 tablet.
Yeah, give them a few bite marks, and yeah, that's great, totally fun. Um, I'm just kind of concerned because like the whole storage issue, because we're still talking about what are 8 or no 32 and 60. Okay,
Yeah,
32 60.
this has 32, so that's okay.
It's not bad. But I still remember like they've had last year, was it 16? They still had 16s.
I think the base is 16. Yeah. Which is definitely not like I got a Fire HD I think 4 or 5 months ago because I was going to write some posts and guides for it, and it had 16 out of the box, and I filled it up pretty quick, and I didn't even install any games. I just had like a handful of streaming apps and some Google stuff.
And you
So
take the different different families with different approaches. So everyone must have like I think some members might have an SD card with their own apps, or I don't know. But like the adoptable storage thing might be more or less kind of there or not there depending on who's exactly using it. But still, just have more base storage, please. Like this is a good step, I think. So.
yeah, I think this is definitely still a pretty good value for $150. Like it does, I don't think it gets better than this unless you want to jump to like Samsung's $300 and $400 tablets.
Mm.
Um,
Pino23 said, I once bought a Fire 8. I chatted with Amazon support and told them I accidentally ordered the one with ads. Instead of sending it back, they unlocked it for free. Don't know if this is still working. So, hey, I mean, if you want to take
yeah,
the
I have heard of people saying that word where if you just complain to Amazon support, they'll do that for you.
and B Slide M says that my 10-year-old has a Note 8, in which case, I mean, you do you. I mean, I think it's still new enough or it's still advanced enough where things can go wrong.
It's waterproof. It's fine. You know,
No, it's
the
run,
kid
yeah.
chucks it in the mud. It's gonna be fine.
No, just wait until he discovers the world of Snapchat. I'm pretty sure that any kid who knows how to circumvent age limits is, you know, that's fun. In the
I remember
meantime,
circumventing parental controls on the iMac I had as a kid. That was fun.
oh boy, the Cartoon Network. Ask your parents for permission, but
Yeah. Ask your parents permission before going on Disney.com.
well, You might, if you're a kid listening to us right now, you might have to ask your parents' permission before um, giving us money. I
Yeah.
think that's the ethical thing to do at this point. I realize I haven't been posting the links on the freaking chat. Hold on. Here, let's spam the chat with all the links first,
Yeah.
including the ones that tell you to subscribe to us.
Look, it's not spamming if it's our chat. So,
Eh, I don't know. I tend to think that our product is much akin to spiced ham in that it's packed with sodium and I don't know where that was going.
Okay.
Listen, what we do know is that we are live 4 times a week on the Twitch.
Jules
That
is
is
trying his best over here.
Android Police. Yes, I I have been for since when I was given the podcast to like do something with it. I don't know. We can't do this. I can't do this. Corbin can't help me do this without your support. So if you want to help us by subscribing to Android Police on Twitch, twitch.tv/Android Police, we would appreciate that. You can get a special emoji of Ryan, as Diablo in the chat has been demonstrating very, very succinctly for the past 20 minutes or so. You can also
It's a
get,
lot.
oh yeah, you can also get a bunch of entries into our giveaways that we do on the site. That's always fun, right?
Yes. We've got a giveaway right now, as a matter of
Ooh,
fact, I
link that,
believe.
link that crap.
I'm gonna find it. I'm finding it right now.
I was so close to giving us that E on our podcast rating.
Here we go.
Here we go. Look at that.
Giving away a lot of smart light bulbs. There's
Yeah.
so
Oh
many
my
of them.
God. Darn.
There's 40 of them. We're giving away 40 of these. You could probably get one.
You can probably win one of them in the United
Yeah.
States, France, Italy, and Spain.
Yeah. They're
Wow.
usually US only, so there you go.
Dang, that's amazing. Well, in any case, tiers, if you want to actually pay us, they start at $5 a month, and you can do that. Or if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can give us a subscription for free. So you don't pay anything, but Amazon does. And that's generally a great thing. We want Jeff Bezos' money more than anything else here. You can learn more at twitch.tv/Android Police. And now I'm going to actually toss this one to you because I don't know how to move on without cracking myself up.
Okay. So we're talking about the Motion Sense API. Is that right?
Both things. We're talking about both of them at the same time, I guess.
Okay. I'll briefly touch on this because I don't think it's just annoying.
Yeah.
So the Pixel 4, one of the interesting things is it's doing with the Soli radar sensor on the front is that you can wave your hand across the phone to do things like skip tracks and Spotify and that kind of thing. Usually when there's new features in a phone, there's some kind of API that apps can hook into. So like when phones started shipping with fingerprint sensors, there was the API that lets apps log you in with your fingerprint, that sort of thing. So it was a little bit surprising that Google said it's not planning on releasing an API for motion sense. So in other words, only apps where the developers have worked with Google get to have like hand controls with the Pixel 4, which is it's really strange because there are a lot of potential uses for this, and it seems weird to limit it to the handful of apps that have that can talk to Google and get permission to use this feature. Like I can only imagine how many people like to use podcast apps and media and custom media players that maybe aren't these huge massive companies that can get Google on the phone to ask for the motion sense access.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I feel like it's just another input method for people to use as they want. And if you support the API and make it so that you can skip forward, or perhaps you might want to, if you're in a game and you might want to grab something in the field of in the field of play, like that's something that you can experiment with. There's just so much potential, and I guess I really wish this was more Wild West style kind of, hey, let's see what you can do. Let's see what potential there is, because otherwise, longer this stays stale, it's just a gimmick. And yeah, I
And
feel like,
and like I feel like there should have been at the least some kind of compatibility mode where if you had an app open that didn't support this, it would translate the hand gestures as like media presses. So like in the same thing where like you can control an app from the notification, like skip and fast forward in the notification. Like I feel like they could have just plugged those into
mhm.
the sensor. So like if I open like Pocket Cast or some app that doesn't natively support this and swipe my hand, it'll still do the skip. I feel like that would have been pretty easy to do. So again, it makes this even more weird.
Yeah, especially if they're, because I know like this is hardware, this is dedicated hardware that is up for grabs in terms of space on next year's Pixels. Like, should it stay? Like, what's the usefulness? And I
Yeah,
feel like if you're not building a case for that, or if you don't want to build a case for that because you realized, oh, it's a mistake that we included it in the first place on the Pixel 4, like why did you even bother? Like, at this point, you should
yeah,
probably just go headstrong on that. But
and also like more to the point why they should have had some kind of compatibility mode is even if there was an API, how many apps are going to add support for this thing that's on one phone? And
yeah,
it's not even like the most popular. Like if this was like on the S11, I'm sure a lot of apps would probably be interested. But the Pixel has such a small user base that's almost not worth the time unless the API is available and extremely easy to plug into.
well, you mentioned Samsung just now. Speaking of similar features that should be shared, one feature that Samsung has had on plenty of its Galaxy phones is Smart Stay, and I think Smart Scrolling or Eye Scrolling, where it uses the front-facing camera to pay attention to your eyes, see if your eyes are paying attention to the screen, and then keeping the display awake for as long as you're watching or reading whatever you're seeing on the screen. And I didn't think that it would take Google to until now to realize that, hey, this is actually somewhat useful to some people, that maybe you want to try it out on the Pixel 4. So
Mm.
screen attention is what it is called on the Pixel 4, and they're trying it out right now. Doesn't look like it will come to Google phones, at least for the moment, because I don't know what sort of processing, whether it's off die or you know, there's got to be some space issues in the stack, in the processing stack, or something like. But this is real. I don't feel like this is a high processing, intense task to keep afloat. Like,
Yeah. So yeah, it's just all this feature is that it uses the radar and the front camera to keep your screen on as long as you're looking at it. So
now,
um
what does the radar have to do? Because I feel like, because Artem tweeted about it, and he says it's only just the front camera. It doesn't have to do with the Soli.
oh sorry, it does say later in our article that this doesn't actually use the radar. So maybe I should read the articles before.
I don't know.
uh,
I don't know, 'cause it's
yeah.
sometimes these things can be opaque and vague. So,
Yeah.
mm,
But yeah, the main reasons everyone's upset about it is that Google has confirmed it's not coming to previous phones. And out of all the new Pixel 4 features, this seems like, I mean, like Jules said, like probably the easiest to put on other phones because it's just using the camera, as presumably, from what we can tell.
I don't
Um,
think we should be launching a pursuit into this feature because it's just so trivial. It's
yeah, it just should be there. Come on, Google. You
yeah.
know, give the 15 people who bought the Pixel 4 something nice, please.
Let's hope it's more than 15 people, because
Throw them a
if we
bone.
don't want to, those sales records are just not being broken, aren't they? At
No.
least for the premium. See, here's I'm still wrapping my head around the ridiculousness of upping the price continuously, knowing that your premium sales, your premium Pixel sales have floundered for the past couple of years, and then oh hey, we released the Pixel 3a, and it's more suited towards the mid-range, the budget line, and woof, those sales went up. Like,
Yeah, we've talked about it a couple times, Cody and I, on the Q&A show, but I'm very interested to see what the 4A will look like. I think that could be just like the 3A was one of the best, if not the best, budget phone this year. I'd really like to see what they bring to the 4A.
well,
Obviously, the Soli radar probably won't arrive, but there could be a lot of other fun stuff.
Arise Soli for the son you are named after is dead.
Thank you, Jules.
I don't know where. Yeah, I was trying to.
Jules is trying his best, guys. Just bear with us.
keep going places that I don't intend to go to. But yeah. Well, I guess that we've extinguished that topic. So let's bring something out of the blue. How about that?
Yeah. So a couple some of you might remember the Moto 360. It was the first Android Wear watch with a round screen. Even though it was pretty terrible in most ways, like it had a processor that was very old even at the time. It was still a pretty neat watch, and there was a second model. But then after that, Motorola said it wasn't interested in making smartwatches anymore, and that was kind of true for most of the tech companies. I know Sony and a couple others also pulled out of making smartwatches. But just completely out of nowhere, a new Moto 360 was announced the other day. But it's not manufactured by Motorola. It's a company licensing the Moto 360 brand to sell a Wear OS watch. We have pictures on the site if you want to take a look at it. It kind of just looks like a generic smartwatch. I don't think it looks ugly, but it just looks like
it
all
looks
the
like something. It looks like a smartwatch that you'd pay $350 for.
Yeah, it's round. There's no flat tire this time though, so that's nice.
Well, they fixed the second one, didn't they? Or the
I don't
whatever.
remember. I think it was just smaller on the second one. It was like a slightly flat tire.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this has pretty much the same all the same bits you'd expect from a recent Wear OS watch. So it's got the Wear 3100 chip that's still a disappointment. It's got 8 gigs of internal storage. It's got a gig of RAM, which is the same as the Fossil Gen 5, which seems like it fixes most of the Wear OS software jank that we've seen on a lot of watches. So I assume this will probably work fine. It's got a 1.2-inch AMOLED screen. It's got 3-meter water protection, Gorilla Glass 3, all that fun stuff. It's got NFC for Google Pay, GPS, Googly Pay. And yeah, I mean, it just seems like a regular Wear OS watch. It's just a Wear OS watch. It's just weird that it's using this brand that's been dead for years.
So why charge $350 for it in the first place? One, because
I don't get the price at all.
For $250.
Yeah, $350 is, I feel like that's a lot just for Wear OS. Like Wear OS, it has some problems. I don't feel comfortable recommending someone spend $350 on a watch running that platform. And especially since the Fossil Gen 5, which is kind of like the peak of Wear OS at the moment, that just got a price drop to $300, I believe. So, and that has everything this has, plus a few exclusive software features that Fossil's made, like some tweaks to battery and like the ability to answer calls when paired to an iPhone. So I don't know why anyone would buy this.
I'm wondering what sort of opportunity that Lenovo or Motorola saw in just, hey, we got a smartphone or smartwatch design that we could have used in like 2018 or 2019. Let's just contract this one out or something. I don't know. It's like,
yeah, maybe they feel like they have to have a smartwatch because Huawei and Samsung and other companies are still investing in smartwatches.
Hmm.
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you why it's supposed to exist. Maybe it'll be like a pre-order bonus with some Motorola or Lenovo stuff. You order something, you get a free Moto 360. Kind of like what
Perhaps.
Sony does, where you get like a TV if you order their new phone.
Well, if you just want to make sense of all the other Motorola phones that are out there, such as the G, the One, the Z, the
We've got all
E,
the letters.
all the letters, all the good G, Z, E, Zeg. That's
Yeah,
the Moto Zeg is the next, the Zeg One. We're gonna look forward to that soon,
I
I
mean, it
guess.
wouldn't shock me. Wouldn't shock me.
Or the G Zone. You remember what was the one? Um, what was the one that had zone in its name? The Pizzone or something like that.
I don't recall.
Trying to remember this.
I'm not overly familiar with Motorola's past products. I got my first phone long after the Razor era, so I'm out of the loop there.
Well, I'm going to keep trying to look at. I I'm I regret
You'll
looking at it now.
you'll you'll remember it 6 hours from now in the shower. That's usually
When
how
the
these
show
things
ends and I edit, I have to edit. Like,
yeah. Like, hey guys, Jules cutting in here 12 hours after I recorded. I finally remember what phone name it is.
yes, yes, that's exactly what I'm going to do. No, it's the Gazone. That's right. It's like
Like,
yeah, the Giz or the Giz One, the Casio Giz One Commando. that was
oh jeez.
was hilarious. Hold on, we got to show. Here we go.
Oh my
So
god. Who named that? Was that the same
Casio
person that
did.
was that the same person that I guess
Look at
Samsung
this
hired them to make
monstrosity
the
of a flip phone.
4G LTE?
And there's a Giz One Commando, which is like a freaking Android phone, and it's all like Iron Man slab BS. Oh my god, dear Lord. Ugh.
Yeah, actually, speaking of Iron Man, I feel like that's the next frontier for smartwatches. Is how like
No, don't
you
bring
can
Captain Picard into this.
no, like you can find how like every store has like the really cheap like branded watches that have like Captain America or like Star Wars on them or something. Why are we not seeing anything of smartwatches for that?
I don't know.
This seems like a missed opportunity. Like we could get like a Mickey Mouse smartwatch.
Some other brand will do that. Something like
Yeah.
Louis Vuitton, MH, LVMH. They're acquiring all the brands. So why don't you ask them?
Yeah.
They
So,
spent like $13 billion on Tiffany's, or they're about to at least. That's what I'm hearing. Yeah, man. In any case, Twitch Q&A. Let's see. Zorchiar asks, if you had to only use a phone and laptop from the same company, which one would it be? Whew, that's gonna be a tough one. I feel like just go for the cheap answer and say Razer, just because I know both of them make, they make both form factors, and Razer's PCs are all right.
yeah, they're pretty good. Yeah, well, there's only like a handful of companies that both make phones and laptops.
We got the Asus, and we got the Samsung.
Yeah, I think I'd go with either Samsung or Asus because I've used a couple of Asus laptops. I like them. I've never used a Samsung laptop, but I hear they're pretty good and I like their phones. So probably
LG has the Gram, which is kind of, I don't know.
yeah. I did see Michael Fisher's videos of those, and it does look like a very nice laptop.
But would you use one of their phones to go along
No.
with that?
I mean their phones are nice out of the box. Like I don't mind them, but they don't do updates for whatever reason.
I think I might switch over to Samsung or Asus, one or the other. Asus, just because I have some Taiwanese blood in me, and like that's
Yeah,
kind of the
you gotta rep the home, right?
yeah, I gotta rep the homestead or
Yeah,
something, I guess. Well,
I get it.
well, there we go. Well, that's it. I think we appreciated all your questions, all your comments, all your discourse in the chat. If you want to participate in it, we're live 3 times or 4 times a week on the twitch.tv/Android Police. All the stories we've talked about today can be found at androidpolice.com/podcast. And you can send your thoughts and suggestions to podcast@androidpolice.com. com, and be on the lookout in the next week or so for a survey that I hope to get compiled up and sent out, because we would really love your thoughts on how we can take the show to the next level, because honestly, it's been a thrill to be able to have all these guests on and do it 3 times or 4 times a week. But we want to see how we can serve you better, and that may include ads in the future, but that's our long-term goal, so we'll see about that. On Twitter, Corbin is at Corbin Davenport. I'm the producer here, Jules Wong, at Point Jules, and our theme music is by Home. We are back again to wrap up your week on Friday, but until then, keep on keeping on, and I'll give the last word to our dear old Corbin.
What was that sentence?
I kind of clammed up at the last second there. It was
You
like,
kind of garbled it up a little bit. Okay.
yeah.
Well,
Oh.
have a nice day, everyone.
Good. All right. See y'all.